call to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Here. Trustee Wilson.
Here.
Trustee Brooks.
Present.
Trustee McMullen.
Present.
Trustee Payton.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
And Mayor Covington.
Present. Would you please join me with the pledge of allegiance? Thank you. Here are the motion, just for the minutes. Motion for the minutes on Saturday, November 18th, regular meeting, Tuesday, October, I want to do that, and October 24th and November 28th.
Madam Mayor,
I'm sorry,
before the motion,
yes, ma'am.
October 24th is not included in this packet.
You did
It's
say
just
that.
November 18th and the 28th.
That's what you have time for.
Yes.
So you should, so, okay.
That's,
So you're saying that just take out October 28th, 24th out?
no, yes, please.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Brown, is there a second?
Second.
Second, trustee Brooks. Comments, concerns? I have one. For the special meeting on Saturday, was a statement that someone asked for the copy of information. It stated that I said, no, that was, Mayor Covington responded, since there's a working document, she did not feel it was appropriate. No, what happened, just for correction, I made the attorney stated that I should ask. That's a board decision. And I took a poll of the board, and the board said no. So that needs to be in there. And I acted upon the board's recommendations.
Okay, so that I'm clear, Mayor, your amendment is that the attorney,
Stated that it's up to the board if they wanted to distribute or give away the information. And I took a poll and the board said no. So I didn't just feel it was appropriate. The whole board did. And also, on the minutes from November 28th, here I did make a statement. I was given a report of the meeting that I attend once a month in Southburg Mayor Manager's Transportation. I
Mayor, what page
stated,
are you
I'm sorry, that's on page, I think it's 3. Maybe it's 4, I'm sorry. 4, well, 1 was upside down. Wherever it stated that I was given a report, maybe that was in detail too. No, I'm sorry, that's November 18th, on page 2. And when I gave the report on what was happening, that was there. No, that was the second, it was the, I'm sorry, it is the 28th. And I was making a report about the meeting that I was, yeah, right, yes, on page 8, right. 8 and 9, 8 and 9. Right there, and I was making a report on that, and I stated that, here it is, here, page 8, right. I actually wasn't able to give it to the audience because it was so of a late meeting, but I was reporting on the events that had happened in the She Road. I stated in here about the Salt vote that lost, the Democrats lost that vote.
it's in the House, Madam Mayor. I took this directly from what
Yeah,
you
I
sent to me.
That's what I'm saying. I know about the salt. I said I didn't report it verbally. I just gave it to you. Remember, I didn't report on it because it was so lengthy.
Right, and
That's why I
that's
just
why
gave it to you.
and if you know, I indicated that at in the minutes, I started with what you reported on, and then I indicated that you also reported on meetings, and you also submitted this report to be included.
Right. I'm saying that I did not verbally say it because it was so lengthy, that's why I just gave it to you to put in this minutes. Nothing wrong, I'm just making a statement on it.
Trying to figure.
No. What I wanted to be inclusive in the minutes was the fact that when I did speak about the meeting that we had with Metro, that was Metro. I should have put Metro in there. That was the meeting that they said that they would work on for us. So that you would add that, and I meant to put that in there as well, but I didn't. Okay? That's it. That was the Metro updates. Okay? Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Wilson.
Both sides.
Trustee Brooks.
Both sides.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Abstain.
And Mayor Cotton.
Both sides. General comment?
Yes, ma'am. Could you pass that? Yes, ma'am.
Keith Griffin?
Good evening. I just have a couple of things. One, I'd like to know, I see on the agenda you have talking of a new village manager. Did you do a search? And there's no disrespect. I feel it should be someone else who has a track record of being a village manager than just to put someone new who will be training and learning on us. I think that should be the way to go on that. On the matter of the loan, why are we using the tax or the tip to secure a loan? We had a revolving line of credit of $2.5 million that we didn't have to go to the tip. So I'm wondering, why did you do this instead of keeping a revolving line of credit, which we paid back? And if you look at what we did, we paid down $2.4 million worth of bills that we paid back, which we owe. Also, I'm wondering, I'm just wondering about why would you do this and not keep the revolving line of credit that we had? And when we went back for the previous year before the election, they gave us I think it was $3 million line of credit. So I'd like to know why would you do this and not use a revolving line of credit? Also, I'd like to know with the levy, how much would that raise the property taxes in raising this levy this year?
Going backwards, as far as the tax levy, just so the public is aware, historically, over the last 2 years, the village has went up on taxes 4.99% over the last 2 years. So this is not a new increase that the board has approved. The board was provided an option to do a public hearing process if they chose to go over 4.99%. Based on the consensus of the board, they stated that they would not go over 4.99%. So this increase that you see compared to last year is actually a little bit under $200,000 compared to last year's levy. What needs to be made noteworthy when residents are reviewing the tax bill, that the University Park taxes is only a small percentage of the levy that you are taxed for. Majority of the money is coming from the school district and other taxing bodies. So the overall increase from last year to this year is going to be $200,000. To answer your question in regards to the line of credit from the bank, the village was denied the use of the revolving line of credit. The $3.2 million was approved by the board, but never approved by the bank. As far as, that was last year before the election. After the, little bit shortly before the election, you will see two agenda items, $3.2 million tax anticipation warrant, which was denied, and then you will see a special meeting or emergency meeting that was called to do a $1.7 million TIF loan. So the $3.2 million was never issued to the village, and the reason is the village is delinquent on their audits. Because the village is delinquent on their audits, there's no financial institution that's going to issue a tax anticipation warrant. So this is why you see a $1.8 million TIF loan today. This is why you saw a $1.7 million TIF loan earlier this year. And just to clarify, the $3.2 million tax anticipation warrant was approved by the board, but never issued by the bank due to the village's delinquency in the 2016 audit. So that answers those questions. As far as the village manager process, I'm not going to answer any questions on that. If a board member or the mayor wants to answer that, that's perfectly fine. But those are the questions that I can answer.
Just to further, Madam Mayor, and those residents, I tell the same story. On May 19th, myself, the village attorney, Matt Welch, met with Jonna. Amara was unavailable, as well as Jacilia from the finance department. Pretty much everything that Chief Pate just told you was already anticipated, and there was a blueprint that was already made out to keep the village right on track. So actually, Chief Pate is correct on how it's supposed to go, and if I'm not mistaken, someone correct me, but if we continue to do it this way, the village will be on the process of returning and going into the black. So what he said was correct, and also it was said to me on May 19th, and I reported that back to the mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Russell? Russell. Mr. Russell. Camera's bad over there, I apologize.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Our concern at the Thornwood House is one that we didn't mention before, but we'll mention now. The road leading to the building, potholes for years. We would like that road repaved. Children, grandchildren, cars are being damaged by this road. The back of the building leading to Family Dollar, no lighting, pavement is sliding over, people are falling, having accidents. These are concerns of the tenants of the Thornwood House. And once again, we want to extend to all of you, because we will remember in these elections that will be following, who's supporting, who's looking out. We want somebody that cares about the Thornwood House to represent us. And we don't mean with hamburgers and hot dogs. We mean with some support. We have 183 units in this building. And I welcome you to call me, and you can come to any of our tenants association meetings and express to us what you're trying to do to make Thornwood House a better place for living. And I also want to extend, once again, the invitation on December the 22nd at 12 o'clock. We'll be having a Thornwood program, and this is a good time for the tenants to see who you are. And once again, we did ask for donations. We appreciate Brother Payton, Brother Brown, and their response, but especially to Mayor Covington. She's outstanding. And we love what she's doing for the tenants, but there's more than 1 or 2 people on this board. And we're talking about 183 people. So just keep that in mind. My name is Mr. Emmett Rule. If you don't know me, you will know me. And this is my Vice President, Brother Russell.
One question for you. What day is
We're actually on December the 22nd is when we'll have our next meeting. What I hope to achieve at that program is to introduce to those who don't know who you are. We will be reaching out or letting the tenants know who is supporting us for this event. We want them to know. We have many new tenants. They don't know much about you guys. I don't know much about you guys. I'm just finding out who is who. But we want to reach out to you, and I don't know what else to say, but thank you.
Right across you when you crossing the parking lot, right? And I said, I see you over there, right?
Yep.
You guys are amazing. You guys keep coming and letting us know what we need to do for the residents of Thornhouse, and which we should do. And but that particular 22nd day is the day that they make me go to work, my day job, right? They make me go to work, so I have to be there. But we can work something out prior to that, okay?
I appreciate
All
that.
right, all right.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
No, I'm just saying sometimes when the parties are during the day, excuse me, the majority, thank God, of us up here work. And sometimes at noon, if it's not on like a Saturday or something, it makes it difficult. It's not that they don't want to respond or attend. It's just that their jobs are more demanding at times. But they will, if you like, have another day for them to come over, they'd be more than happy, I'm sure, to accommodate you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to be recognized. I just think everybody up on here on the Board of Works is just some had a little more flexibility with their work schedules than others. You know, such as me, I work for myself, so if I want to take a noon off, I can.
Yeah, well,
Maybe everybody doesn't have that.
right, they don't. So that's why I was saying, some of us we have standard hours that have to be at work. So it's not like they're ignoring.
Well, I appreciate that. So what we'll do in the near future is I will have our meetings scheduled a little later
Right,
in the evening,
right,
because I do need the residents to recognize who you guys are.
right.
And thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully it'll be on Channel 4 very soon. It's coming back very soon.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. Mr. Warren Hunter? Oh, you don't want to speak? Oh, okay. Thank you. Star Lawson?
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
Thank you for this opportunity to be before you, to other administrators, and to the residents. I've heard the reports about the taxes, about the village manager position, about the $1.8 million to borrow. And I also have paid attention to what has happened in our village over the past years. And I'm quite disheartened on what I view as corruption. Corruption itself may be difficult to define with any precision, but the harm that it causes to the political process, leverage over public officials that precludes neutral decision-making can signal actionable and offensive conduct. And in the midst of a mighty struggle to rid our community of corruption and economic injustice, I have heard the cries of our residents who can no longer enjoy the benefits of a prospering community. I spoke with the lady who was at Village Hall today, and she shared with me her concern about the tax increase. And I've spoken to many residents, which brings me to the cost of corruption. The cost of corruption is high. It has been said that if all corruption could be wiped out, we would have found the answer to inflation. The cost of corruption is paid in more than money. The result of corruption is a pervasive sense of injustice. The injustice of corruption adds to the sense of alienation for many taxpayers in our corrupt village who cannot afford to abandon their homes, but may be forced to do so with repetitive annual 4.99% tax levies. Over and over, I found myself asking, what kind of people would allow this to happen to our community? We expect elected officials to serve the public interest to the best of their ability. When officials become corrupt, the public has effectively lost control over its government. The resentment from taxpayers reveals itself in a multiplicity of ways. Increased contempt for our elected officials and administration, increased voter apathy, increased resistance in tax increases and law enforcement efforts. If the corrupt officials and/or administrators never get caught, the weight of the penalty has little effect. Which brings me to the painful part of corruption, the harm. The harm of corruption is painful. Who suffers most at the hands of corrupt officials and administrators in our village? Our children, who are our future, our seniors, who are our most vulnerable in their retirement years, our taxpayers, who are deprived of the non-corrupt enjoyment of their community, and yes, some of our village employees who by God's grace have weathered the storm. Disloyalty in general defies quantification, and the harm of dishonest government is no exception. The most significant thing taken by the lowlifes of corruption is the public's entitlement to uncorrupted loyalty of service by government officials and administration, something that's impossible to measure. The 19 applicants, what happened to them? How did we go from having 19 applicants to an acting village manager announcing on next door neighbor that he is the village manager? How did we get to that point? I ask you all, this board, to stop the corruption, stop the hustle, stop the bamboozling us. It's not the crime, it's the cover-up. If past action is any indication of future actions, you're going to deny that you've done anything wrong. You're going to obfuscate the facts to direct us in a different manner. But we know it's all blue smoke and mirrors. I ask you to consider the residents in your decision making. Thank you.
Thank you. Phyllis Sanders?
Mayor, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I'd like to do a quick poll first, Mayor. Liz Williams, Trustee Liz Williams, are you corrupt?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Trustee Paul Wilson, are you corrupt?
No, sir.
Theophilus Brooks, are you corrupt?
No, sir.
Mayor Covington, are you corrupt?
Definitely no.
Trustee McMullen, are you corrupt? I don't believe I'm corrupt. Trustee Brown, are you corrupt?
I concur with the board, I am not corrupt.
Okay. Chief Pate, are you corrupt?
Not at all, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know who you're talking about, first of all. Okay, that's the first thing. So when you talk about corruption, you need to get your facts together. And please define it, okay? Because everybody that I know that's working on this board is honest and trying to do the best that they can for this community, whether you agree with it or not, okay? Now let's talk about the village manager selection process, because that came up previously also. We received 19 resumes. 3 of us on this board formed a subcommittee and went through all 19 of those resumes independently. And we got back together again and made a selection of who we thought were the best. And we came up as a committee, a subcommittee, with 4 names that we thought that had to have at least 2 people that agreed that they were worth considering. Then from that, we gathered as a board and went through them. And the basic thing that we came up with is that Chief Pate has been doing a super job, an excellent job. This village has not seen this kind of decision-making on an executive level in many, many years, if ever, okay? So he's only looking at doing this for until 2019. And whatever the new board decides they want to do, they can go in that direction. But to bring somebody else in new at this time, it's going to take them at least a year to get up to speed. And we have so many critical issues that are facing us, least of which is our finances, okay? So, and in addition to that, if we brought somebody else in, it's going to cost us at least $150,000. Because he's doing 2 jobs, as the police chief and as the village manager. You send him back to the police department and bring in somebody new, it's going to cost us $150,000, I guarantee you. And then you don't know what you're going to get. We are moving this village forward right now. This board is moving this village forward. And to have that interrupted would be a travesty, in my opinion. And for you to come up here and accuse us of corruption is, in my mind, disingenuous.
Although I'm new on this board, everybody knows that. And I was a part of that subcommittee that came up with the name Chief Pate. And I say to myself, I've never seen, as a resident since 1994, I have not seen this much progress in a village since I've been here. And I'm not going to stop the snowball at this point in time. I support Chief Pate in his position. I support him as the village manager because we need to move forward in this village. There is an air of progression in this village. And right now, we're building up steam. There's a momentum there. And I would be wrong if I were to try to stop that. His intelligence and his wherewithal and his knowledge about the village far exceed anybody that we ever came in contact with. And I feel that he's a fair gentleman. I feel that he's a righteous gentleman in that respect. And I stand behind him wholeheartedly. I'm not going to stop the forward progression in this village. We have the momentum now. Thank you.
I would like to say, before anyone says, that I resent the fact of being corrupt, being mentioned correct. I work for the federal government. I get a background check every 5 years. I'm background checked through IG, FBI, state attorneys. They go to homes, churches, police departments, stop me. And for someone to say that, I think that's low. Very low. And disrespectful. And to accuse people of that. You know, we better be careful what we're saying to people and about people. Because see, it's really strange to me. Slauson was with me when I went to the state's attorney with a box of information that I turned over to them. That I turned over to them. I turned it over to them. It's on record. So I'm really happy that I did that. I'm glad she was a witness there. She was with me also for 3 hours and went to BOG, went to the Better Government for 3 hours. We sat there. She was with me there. And she knows that. And you know what was really good? That I love God and I love him more than anything. And nothing in the world can take that away from me. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. But you know, I wish these same comments was here when we did have the FBI that came here and arrested some people for corruption. Okay, and all the things that was happening. And how we hadn't had an audit since 2008. Get the facts, get the history. I know where the bones are. They forgot that. All of this animosity is unnecessary. And we are working good with what we have. And I'm proud of this board. For the first time I can say that. I can call them, I can talk to them. They talk back to me, not calling me out of my name. Black beast, all that. That does not exist anymore. And we have so many people coming here, 15 people in line to just take up this town center. 3 developers coming here. We're moving like Trustee
Kirby said, like never before, and I'm very, very proud of this board, and we're gonna work positively in spite of anything that's going on out there, and you don't know what you don't know. And I really would appreciate it if you would respect it and give us the time and work with this team and let us get what we need to get done. We're gonna do it regardless. We're gonna move forward like Michelle Obama, the queen that I love. They says when they go high, when they go low, we go high. And I thank God for that. And I keep them positive, and we talk about, and I really trust this board, and I don't see any lacking on their integrity at all. Ms. Phyllis.
I was going to wait till we got to the item on the agenda, but since we're talking about it now, I'd ask you to recognize.
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, I too want to stand with my colleagues, Trustee Payne and Trustee McMullen, in regards to the village manager. I've spoken with him, and I believe in him. He has a desire, drive, and motivation to be the village manager. He wants to do this, and trust me, for what I am considering, I know what it is like to want to take a position because you see a definite need for it. On an interim basis, he has been making progress. And it goes with our need for consistency at that position. Any delay in both the hiring process of the village manager and by switching village managers could cause a delay in the process with IRH, which is our single most important thing we must do for the village and university part. And while we use an example, there was a 3-month delay with our prior village manager in regards to IRH. That cannot happen. We must get to the bottom of this. We must figure out where the mismanagement and anything else that may have occurred happened. And I personally will not rest until I see that done. And we will see it done. Our staff is happy with our manager, according to the reports I've seen. He's made good decisions, and I'm going to comment. I've commented to him in private, and I will now do so in public. I think it was an excellent decision to move media from Parks and Rec to the cable studio, so we can have definite supervision in regards to opening the cable studio, so we can address a need of the village university part. And our staff desires consistency, and that is what he would provide. We have cost issues that we must consider. We will have to make some unfortunate, hard decisions and maybe deny some things to some people that they deserve. However, those cost factors must be taken into consideration. If we have the opportunity to save $200,000 by postponing promotion at 2 positions, we should consider it. I will also say again, he's made some good decisions, and I will hope that he continues. Those are my personal observations, and I think our colleagues on this board should support him in this regard.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Sanders?
Good evening, board residents. I just wanted to say that the Community Block Club had a wonderful Christmas party. We had lots of food, and we had caroling, and I just want to say thank you, Chief.